The New York City mayoral election is today, and while Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani holds the lead, disgraced former Governor Andrew Cuomo is making a bid for the seat. And this video isn't here to talk about the policies or the candidates, because I think other videos have done that enough. This video is here to share my very biased opinion on why I think America needs Zohran, why he may be our very best bet for a future populist movement. Just to be clear, I don't personally support a lot of what Zohran supports, the massive public housing projects, the minimum wage hikes, and the city-owned grocery stores. I don't personally think they'd work, but what are the other options? Assuming he could even win, we have Andrew Cuomo on one side, who has received millions of dollars from many donors across the country, but largely billionaire donors, who has illegally coordinated with his super PAC, and who, after losing the Democratic primary very fairly to Zohran Mamdani, decided to launch an independent bid for the mayorship against the will of his own voters. How nice. Further in the same direction, and on the right, we have Curtis Lewa, the Republican who's running for mayor. And apart from his jokes and interesting personality, he's effectively more of the same. He doesn't really stand for anything decisively new, which is really what the city needs right now. And that's why I think Zohran Mamdani is the only real choice, because he is something new. And what we need is somebody who will be questioning the current consensus, who will be questioning somebody like Donald Trump. And Cuomo, and definitely Curtis, just won't be doing that. Zohran is the only one with a real chance of making an impact on the national political discourse. And we need somebody who represents an alternative to the Trump-style MAGA populism of the right. We need somebody on the left. And after Bernie Sanders' abysmal failure back in 2016, there is nobody to pick up that torch. I'm not saying that I support everything Zohran does. I'm just saying we need somebody who stands actually for the people. And Zohran actually does. He tries to, at least, which is more than can be said for almost any other person in politics today. And maybe he will go the way of Trump one day, where he'll be totally bought by his party. But for now, he is putting the people above his party, which is very commendable. Many people say he's a radical Islamic socialist. And I don't really care about that. I don't really care if he's a socialist. I don't really care about whatever ism he abides by, because I care if he's actually going to help people, right? Many people don't understand this. Many people are ideologues, and they care about putting their ism in power because they put the ends of their ism above the general welfare. And I don't believe in that. I don't support that. And even though, again, I'll say it again, I don't really support everything Zohran says, he is the only one who I can honestly say is actually trying to help regular people, who is actually talking about the things that need to be changed. And success is not a given, as always, but hope of change is reason enough to try. And it might not work. I know it's really easy for me to say, that there's this hope of change in New York City, and Zohran might stand for something new because I don't live in New York City. I don't suffer if his policies do backfire, which is, all things considered, quite likely. But that being said, we really have two options. We can stick to the establishment of, Trump and Vance and Cuomo and the Clintons and all these other very corrupt politicians who've controlled our system for decades now. Or we can take a shot in the dark with Zohran, and we can try this new guy, right? Give him a shot in the mayor's chair. And maybe, probably, he will do one or two things that actually help the majority population of this country, and then those things are worth taking, those things are worth exploring. So hopefully once he wins, because he will win most likely, he can make some of those changes that actually help regular people, because again, that's what we care about. We're populists. That's what we care about. That's what the VVA is all about, Voiceless Voters of America. That's my nonprofit. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in populism, if you're interested in ripping apart these two parties, putting up a challenge to them, go to the description. I'll have an interest form down there. I'll have our Instagram. Go follow all of that. But today's election day, so get out and vote. Even if you don't live in New York City, there probably are elections in your state, so if you're registered, get out and vote. I'm in Texas, so if you're in Texas, same old thing, get out and vote. There's very important stuff on the ballot here in Texas. But anyway, with all that out of the way, I hope you enjoyed. Big things are coming, so stay tuned, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.